Welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Coach Andres, and thank you for tuning in, ladies. Today we're going to talk about a very important topic, a topic that's crucial in the dating world, and it has a lot to do in where they're at in their lives. It's called 5 Signs He's Emotionally Healthy. Emotionally healthy. There's a huge difference between emotionally available and emotionally healthy. And we're going to discuss 5 important parts about that. But before we get started, you know what I'm going to do and ask for is that quick subscription. Make sure you hit that like if you happen to like the videos to make sure you're notified of any future projects, future products, future programs, future videos. I want to build this community as big as possible because I'm here to service you all. I'm here to help you all and direct you all the best way to be in the healthiest relationship. Speaking of that, number 1. 5 signs he's emotionally healthy. Well, it's interesting because I've always been learning more and more with my clients and their stories about the time when they meet someone that's so great in the beginning. You know, and obviously the physical attraction's there, the verbal communication's there, the energy, the synergy, the bonding is there. But you don't see if someone's emotionally healthy until certain adversities come in the relationship. You don't see until someone's emotionally healthy until something doesn't go to plan. And that's when you realize, is someone mature enough? Are they emotionally available, emotionally stable, and emotionally healthy enough to be able to build some relationship, to understand that it's going to take a take and give, a pull and push kind of relationship to understand it's not always about one way. Emotionally healthy. So number 1 is he's open to apologizing. He's open to apologizing within the relationship. Not in the beginning, because I had a client the other day talked about how this guy kept on apologizing 3 times before the first date because he had to keep on rescheduling or some level of almost flaking or breadcrumbing. And I told her, I was like, don't go on this 4th opportunity that he's presenting to you because he's already telling you what kind of priority you are to him. No disrespect to what he finds more important or if he's busy or if something personal. That's great. That's awesome. Good for him. But if you're going to apologize 3 times in the beginning before the first date, that's not really setting her up and getting her excited to think that he's ready for a relationship. That's pretty much a sample of how it's going to be throughout the whole relationship. So I said, do not continue that. So what I mean by him, he's open to apologize in the relationship, that's after the beginning has been established. You guys have the same connection, the same intentions, the same goals. And if he's open to apologize, he knows his pride's to the side, his ego's checked at the door, and he's just trying to understand you better. I've always said this before in the beginning of other videos and on videos like today. If he's really into you and he's really bonding with you, he doesn't care about being right. He wants to only care about being understood, and hopefully he understands you. So it's not about the upper hand all the time. Apologizing really leads to basically more understanding of the other person. So keep a lookout for that. Number 2, 5 signs he's emotionally healthy. Healthy. We got to be healthy in relationships. We can't just go with attraction. We can't just go with infatuation. We can't just go with like, oh, great conversational. No. We want to take it to the next level. How do we have establishing long, sustainable relationships if someone's emotionally healthy? So number 2 means he has to be over his past. You can't start something new and not be over your past. You can't have grudges. You can't be, with all due respect, still holding on to this traumatized moment of the past relationship. And I'm not trying to be rude or insensitive to anything, but if you're still feeling that, if he's still feeling that, then that gives you a big sign you're not ready for a new relationship. So he has to be able to be healed. You know what I'm saying? He has to be able to know that he's forgiven and forgave that relationship to whatever it was, if he was a part of the reason why it broke up or someone else. And again, we've all been there. I've been there, and it's just more of, I knew I'm not going to jump to another relationship just because I want to or because I can. It's more of, am I in a healthy place for that? So again, that's a lot to do with self-awareness. And when you really take that time to separate each relationship, to almost date yourself, develop that self-awareness, that self-love, then you really put yourself up in a better place down the road for a new relationship. So if he's bringing up that resentment of who she was, if he's bringing back up bad stories or the breakup is still hanging on to him like some kind of stinkish smell in the air, if he's still living in this cloud of basically, oh, I don't trust women because of what she did, get out, because you know he's not ready. And again, that's why I said this in the beginning. Emotionally stability, emotional health shows up later into the relationship after certain things get developed. So the beginning, you're never really going to see that. Or hopefully you don't, because if you do, why are you in that? So and the more in the middle of the relationship, if that stuff starts to come up and you start to bring up each other's past relationships and he's still resentful, he hasn't healed, he hasn't really grown from that relationship, then he's not an emotionally healthy guy. Number 3, if he's emotionally healthy. But before we go into emotional health, I want to actually talk about a specific product specifically towards this topic. And it's called How to Love a Man. Check it out. It's on coachingwithundress.com. It's a great 90-minute audio about the past, beginning, the past, the present, and the future of who you are, what you're looking for in any relationship with the man. All right? Number 3, he's willing to talk about his emotions. And not Mr. Emotional, not Mr. Sensitive, not Mr. Crying at the sunset every day. So it's more about he's willing to talk about deep stuff. He's willing to talk about spirituality. He's willing to talk about certain fears or goals. You know, outside the comfortable conversations, he's willing to go deep into certain things, psychologically, socially, spiritually, politically, in any way that he feels that you're like, wow, the exterior is not so just built on rocks. You have so many layers of characteristics. You have so much layers of depth. So if you know he's willing to talk about some old school stuff as a childhood or even past relationships or again, future fears, future goals in a cool, fun, playful, masculine kind of way, ladies. I understand you don't want Mr. Sensitive too much. Too much of anything's not good. But if he's willing to do that, that just shows he's in an emotional healthy place. That he's willing to be comfortable and confident with who he is. And that's a great sign because we all have that. I have that, and I'm sure you ladies have that as well. But to speak on that in a more, let's say, confident way to know that you're not afraid of it. You're ready to confront it. You're ready to like step up to it. Fears, bring it on. Goals, let's go. You know, so that's a great place to know if he's emotionally healthy. Number 4, 5 signs he's emotionally healthy. He has realistic expectations, right? He's compassionate about what's going on in front of him. He has realistic expectations because he's not going to put so much pressure on you. He's not perfect. You're not perfect. No one's perfect. There is no perfect relationship. Everyone's got a certain amount of red flags. Everyone's got a certain amount of issues and traumas. But if he doesn't put that pressure on you, he has realistic expectations to enjoy really what's in front of him. He's present. He's in tuned. And that shows emotional health, but it also shows emotional maturity, not to always ask for more, never satisfied. That's just not going to last, ladies. That's not sustainable. That's almost overcompensating about his insecurity, that he needs that constant validation from you. So if he's compassionate about having realistic expectations about this date, this week, the plan, the month, the relationship, you want to let things build naturally. Just like, that whole metaphor, like a plant or a baby, you don't do too much all at once. You have to let it grow on its own. So if a man's seeing that in you and seeing that in himself in the relationship, he'll let the relationship naturally grow. As long as it's progressing, of course, as long as it's processing to where the ultimate goal is, but he'll let it happen naturally. All right? Realistic expectations, not unrealistic. Number 5. But before we go on the last one, make sure you check out coachingwithundress.com so we can dive in further about this topic or any other topics that you might need. I'm here to coach you one-on-one. I don't care if it's Zoom, email, or phone. Let's make sure you make the healthiest decisions for your relationships. That's the choice of what we want to make sure we do it the best. It's not about quantity, it's about quality on that. So let's make sure we put in the work now before we try to figure it all out in the middle of the relationship. All right? Number 5, and it has something to do with more personal than the relationship that he's emotionally healthy. He speaks up on healthy boundaries. And I mean healthy boundaries about what is important to him. What are his goals? What are his ambitions? If he really has a big, deadline at work or has a family event that's very important to him and he has to go out of town for whatever situation and he expresses that he's like, I'm sorry, but I have to go do this. I'll make it up for you, or we'll talk about it when I come back. If he has healthy boundaries knowing that he's trying to better himself in a good, healthy way, productive, positive way, that shows he's emotionally mature. That shows he's emotionally healthy. And it's because he wants to do that so he can do that for you. And when you guys have your ambitions, when you women have your goals, you want a man to support you too as well. So healthy boundaries in a sense of understanding what's important to him as priorities. So that being said, well, hold on, one more thing. The healthy boundaries thing is all about, I just thought of it. It's about respecting opportunities. Respecting opportunities. Making sure he understands what opportunities in front of you, what opportunities in front of him. Because what you guys are doing and developing is a beautiful opportunity. That just came up to me last second, so I had to throw that in there real quick. But that being said, I just want to say thank you for watching this video. If you guys have any questions, go ahead and leave a comment. Leave any suggestions for future videos. Again, appreciate that subscription, that like. And if you need any coaching sessions, coachingwithundress.com. I'm here to help. Thank you.